Fan of the Hodaki Big Show podcast? Make sure you check out more from Jace, Mike and Keezy on their Instagram at Hodaki Big Show, or tune in to them 4 to 7 every weekday on Radio Hodaki. Thanks, mate.
Thanks, mate.
No worries, man.
How are we going, fellas?
Pretty good.
Bit tired today because big start for us, big interview obviously, and then just did the first Mad Monday of the year show. Filmed a couple of videos, got to film another couple, and then Queens of the Stone Age tonight.
Yeah, man.
I want to be a shell of a human tomorrow.
What do you mean? I'm not involved in the other filming, am I?
Yeah,
You are.
Am I?
Yep.
I thought that wasn't happening till tomorrow.
No, it's happening today.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Nah, it might actually be tomorrow.
We don't know.
Yeah.
That's the thing, we don't know.
It's funny you're talking about a big interview there, Keezy. Mogi, I don't think I've ever seen Keezy so tense and nervous as he was this morning.
Nice, that's good.
I thought Keezy did a fine job.
I wasn't saying that. I just said he was just very tense.
When I say fine, I don't mean okay. I thought he did a very good job of anchoring.
Thank you.
Of anchoring that interview, Keezy.
Thank you.
Well done, mate.
Jace?
I was personally a little bit on the nervous side, given that he is one of my... Honestly, and I never got to it actually in the conversation, I forgot about it, but he is... what would you call it?
Well, this is Josh Homme we're talking about.
This is Josh Homme, yeah, but sort of like jokingly, but my hall pass. Like I say
Sure.
to the missus, I say my hall pass is... She's like... For dudes, I was like, no, male or female. I'll take Josh Homme.
Right, okay.
He'll treat you right. But yeah, I've always been a huge fan of him. So it was good.
I think we did well, fellas, to be honest.
Yeah, it was one of those ones that was hard to gauge, I found. But yeah, seemed like a nice fella.
They both were.
Both nice fellas,
Because when you're interviewing two people from a band, naturally you want to talk to Josh Homme, but also you got Mike Schumann there, who's part of the band, has been.
Yeah.
So he's equally as talented and brilliant and blah, blah. And we were like, we should probably ask him some questions, so we did that. But every time Josh Homme would come in and answer them anyway, because the other guy was quite quiet.
You do it by looking at them, right? You look at him, and so then the other person thinks, oh, I'm not being asked this question.
Yeah.
But then I guess he was just there to have his cigarettes stolen by Josh. Do you know what I mean? That's why he was there.
That was funny. You guys... We're waiting to get set up. You guys have a yarn to them about darts and how they're off the vapes. And do you have darts still, though, fellas? Oh, occasionally. And then actually, fuck it, let's have a go over dart. Do you guys want one? You guys like, nah, we're all good.
That's not what I said.
Did he offer me one? I didn't hear him offer me one.
He goes, I guess you don't want one. And I went, something along. It was a positive thing.
Oh, yeah.
But then I got the vibe he didn't want to give me a cigarette.
Yeah.
Right.
And the fact that they walked away into a far corner made me go,
well, can I have one?
I'm not going to go and stand over there by them and bum a cigarette off them.
See, because I was a few metres away, I didn't actually hear. I thought that you'd talked them into it and then got, actually, no, we're all good,
the talk
fellas.
about cigarettes did make them have a cigarette.
Yes.
Like Josh said to
Mike
there, I just feel bad saying Mike. Josh Homme said to Mike Shoeman, yeah, give me one of those cigarettes. So that was good.
But then on the way past, Mike Schumann offered me one.
He got his cigarettes out. He aimed them at me, but he sort of said, I guess you don't want one, huh? And I was like, and then he just sort of kept on walking. So I was like, look.
What I noticed about them, actually, they were massive cigarettes.
Oh, were they?
Did you notice that?
You're really fixating on them, eh?
They were really long cigarettes. And I went, oh.
Those are cool.
Yeah.
They look even bigger against you.
They'll take me 15
look
minutes
like
to smoke one of those.
in your hand.
Well, exactly. But I was also really impressed with the rooftop there. The view of the harbour.
Bloody beautiful.
And they were even impressed by that, which is cool.
Kitchen, bar, nice little bar there.
You had the radio awards there, Keezy?
Yeah, no, let's not talk about that. As Mike Schumann walked past and had offered them to you or whatever,
right.
he then said to me, would you like one then?
And then you said, I've got asthma.
Nah, sorry, mate, I've got asthma. And he cracked up laughing and walked off. I don't actually have asthma, but I've convinced myself I've now got asthma.
That was funny, though. Yeah.
If only we got that on camera.
Yeah, and for some reason it just makes people laugh. Can't have a dart, mate. I've got asthma.
Not all this cool smoke chat.
Yeah.
I've got asthma.
But I thought it went very well. They were very accommodating. And I don't know why they're even doing it. Like, they don't need to do it. They're one of the biggest rock bands in the world.
Yeah, well, I'm assuming that the show tonight sold out.
I'd say so. They won't have any trouble selling tickets. But but still, they make time to sit down. And they obviously do it wherever they go. Because there's interviews with Josh, especially, all over the place in different countries from the last, few months.
Well, and I wonder too if there's an element of loneliness in it too. It's probably quite nice. Probably quite nice to have chats to people when you're just going from country to country to country to sort of link with other human beings a little bit.
I think he's got a pretty professional attitude to it though, doesn't he? Where it's like, He wants to be the best on stage. He wants to be the best band that people have seen. And also, every time you do an interview, it's an advertisement for your new album and your concert. It just makes sense, right?
So he's viewing it as his job, which is how they should always view it.
Exactly. Yeah.
So he's smart about it.
It's a privileged place to be in.
Absolutely. And it's amazing actually when you have a situation where the people you're interviewing don't have that opinion and they think that it's just a waste of their time and it's annoying, and
which is 95% of the time.
Which is often the case. And it's like, actually, fuck you. I don't want to do this. If you're not interested in promoting yourself, go and do it. Fuck off.
The Hodaki Big Show with Jason Hoyt, Mike Minogue, and Keezy. The Hodaki Big Show, weekdays at 4 on Radio Hodaki.
I might have told you guys about it already. I had a situation where there was a bloke from a Kiwi band that I quite liked, came in and was drunk, and while I was doing the night show.
Yes.
And I've done interviews for over 10 years because I was a reporter for so long. And we had this guy in, they had a new album coming out, that they hadn't released an album in ages, and I was asking him questions about the other band members who live all around the world. And he said, I can't remember what he said, but he basically said something along the lines of like, man, I'm sick of talking about what we were talking about. And it was a pre-recorded interview, fortunately.
Yes.
And it got to the point where I literally stopped the interview and said, okay, I'm not finishing this interview. I'm like, bro, I haven't even listened yet. Like, I'm stoked that you're in here. I liked all your old stuff when I was in high school.
Yeah. I
don't care whether you're here to sell your album or not. Like, no skin off my nose. I'll just keep doing my night show. And then the agent called me afterwards and apologized. And then I got an email of the guy the next day and was like, hey, sorry about that. I was really drunk or something. So I was just like, fucking, we're here, like putting a spotlight on your band, which hasn't had a spotlight on it ages.
Yeah, exactly.
Nothing worse.
Go sell your shit, man.
I've had some nightmares in my time too, Keezy, I can tell you. And I won't name names.
Yeah, there's one particularly hilarious one.
Yes.
Looking back, it's hilarious.
Looking back, it was hilarious. At the time, it was a dead set. There's a couple that have just been absolute doozies.
Yeah, boy.
Where I look back and just cringe.
One of the, I still remember when I was quite new to media, and a lot of people in sports media my age were all very new too. They've all since become proper presenters, whatever. But Benji had just come over from rugby league to play first five for the Blues.
Yeah.
And it was him and John Kerwin in this press conference. And it was his press conference saying it hasn't worked out and Benji's heading back to Australia. Mm-hmm. And it was like a somber affair and they were both super serious. And one guy who I'm quite familiar with asked a question and both John Kerwin and Benji took massive exception to it. And like called him out in front of everyone.
No, I genuinely remember that.
And
yes,
it was like the most. I've never seen like this poor guy who's like 22 just asking a question he'd probably been told to ask, and he got grilled in front of everyone by John Kerwin and Benji.
What was the question?
It was something along the lines of, I think, essentially hinting at, do you kind of regret coming over here? You wish you'd stayed in NRL. You know, like now that we're at the end of the thing, looking back, you know. Along those lines.
Fair question.
Yeah, it is a fair question.
And I remember
a fucking question.
I remember Kerwin taking exception to that and just saying, this sort of shit is, and it's just like, well, actually, no, it's a legit question. Just fucking answer it.
That's what the audience might be interested in hearing. And then another interesting one that one of my good friends did was he asked Steve Hansen a question at an All Black press conference. Young fella as well. He would have been 26. Steve Hansen tore him a new one and was a bit of a smart ass about it, and then immediately afterward had a big grin on his face straight after he answered the question and goes, oh, I feel bad now about that. I mean, you're obviously a young fella and I've just torn you a new one. I've never even met you. So actually, no, I will answer the question properly. And that was quite funny because he was just in guarded mode.
Well, I mean, because especially if you're just starting off, you know, you're nervous and anxious as it is.
Exactly.
And if someone is either A, an arsehole and not interested really in talking to you, or B, rips you a new one, it can have quite a profound impact on your career.
It had an impact on me.
You get gun shy.
Yeah, it made me think, shit, got to really think twice before you ask anything because you could just get torn a new one.
Yeah.
But these guys were nice.
They were excellent. They were excellent.
Pretty relaxed.
Yeah.
Enjoyed that.
Yeah. I think we're going to upload the full interview maybe to our podcast.
Looking back, the first question, Jace, where you referred to an Indian summer.
That's not a racist thing, though, is it? It's just a long summer.
But it's part of what we do,
Yeah, that's right. So I pulled Jace up on being racist, and Josh Homme was offended at me pulling Jace
up. Well, you know, here's the other thing, because I had my first question all sorted out about Piha, because he likes to ride out to Piha on a bike and stuff. And I sort of said to him before the interview started, you say you're planning on heading up to Piha, blah, 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 blah. on the bike and stuff, and he said, "Oh, yeah, maybe, but don't ask me that. I won't answer that when you interview me." And I was like, "Oh,
sweet,
good one." So my first question, that's fucked.
Yeah, and your vape one as well.
Yeah, that was good, eh? He just said, "Oh no, I'm not going to answer that."
But he was also joking as well because he did talk about it. But it was funny to get that answer. It's like,
yes.
Oh god.
Oh, you got to get one of those at least.
It was really funny because I had I was worried with our stupid show. I was like, I know that he has a 1967 Chevy Camaro he's had since he was like 15.
Right.
And I've seen photos of it and stuff, and I really wanted to ask him about that. And then I pictured in my mind me asking that question, you then trying to explain that my dad built me a truck and that I filmed it and put it on social media, and then him just sitting there like, what the F is this show?
Yeah,
so I just didn't even ask it.
Yeah. But I think we are putting the full interview.
Yeah, the full interview is going to be on the potty, probably this potty, or maybe maybe a separate potty.
We don't know.
Separate probably.
We'll see what Pug says.
Good shit.
Anyway, shall we get to the actual show?
Yeah, man.
Okay. Oh, by the way, yeah, the interview is in the show itself today as well, so which is pretty sick. Hey, don't forget to listen to Hodaki 4 till 7 weekdays, folks, for the old Big Show. Also follow us, Hodaki Big Show on Instagram. Lots of great content on there. And follow us on Instagram at HoidyJ, Mr. Mike Minogue, Chris KNZ, and call me Pugs. Hey, Pugs, where are you going to chuck the full interview? Are you going to chuck that as a separate potty or separate potty?
Yeah, separate potty.
Yeah, sweet. There you go.
Thanks, mate.